Families were affected by the Great Depression in many different ways. Many families suffered from breakups, job loss, financial crisis, malnutrition, psychological stress, various natural disasters, and eviction. The breakups of families was becoming commonplace because money began to get really tight. According to Encyclopedia.com, the average family income dropped from $2,300 to $1,500 in 1933. The amount of jobs dropped due to underconsumption, causing money to become more scarce than before. Underconsumption caused factories to spend too much on materials for goods that were never being sold. Without money for food, malnutrition became a big problem for families. Meat and fresh foods were not cheap, only increasing the problem. Children and elderly people often went days without adequate food. Mrs. White from Case Studies in Unemployment said, "The children seldom get any meat, perhaps on Sundays if I can manage it, and never any desserts." To make up for this shortage of money, children went out to look for work as soon as they came of age. More than 250,000 youths were on the road to find work or better circumstances. In Pennsylvania, a flood known as the Great Flood of 1936 wiped out water supplies and housing. Over 82,000 homes and buildings were destroyed, and 84 people were confirmed dead. This flood also caused a national flood program to be enacted, which was signed by President Roosevelt. On top of this, farm families were evicted because they did not have enough money to keep their land and ended up living with other families in the cities. Men who believed that they should bring home the majority of the family's income felt like failures because the stereotype of the man being responsible for bringing home the family's money still prevailed throughout the Depression. This started to wear on their psychological health and resulted in the suicide rate skyrocketing. Both women and men found it humiliating to apply for government programs, which contributed to additional psychological stress coming common in the 1930s. In spite of all these hardships, some good did come out of the Great Depression in some people's minds. Monopoly, for example, was created during this time. It is a game that is still enjoyed today. The Great Depression also left behind the idea that economic security and welfare of families should be a national goal. It also brought some families closer together, though not as much as the economic downturn split families apart. Family life was changed when the Congress of Industrial Organizations, known as the CIO, was formed in the late 1930s. The CIO unions emphasized family life and family-oriented social and recreational activities as a means of promoting unity among all families in the CIO, including families of different races. The CIO started demanding equal pay for women, the start of today's feminist movement. Although the Great Depression was an awful time in American history and for American families, it had some good outcome for family togetherness that still prevail today.